Hi, and welcome to my mulberry jam video. Look at all the mulberries. So I got all these mulberries that I'm going to turn into jam. I've done this before, mulberry jam before. This is an example. See this little green stem? I've got to remove that for all of these. So I got the jam, not the jam. I got the mulberries. I got my pectin to help it thicken up. And I got my jars right over here. Got my jars. I'll clean them in a second. I got a food scale. The food scale's important. I wish this was higher up. There we go. That's better. It'll work for now. So the food scale's important because with mulberry jam, I don't follow the box. The box gives you recipes in it, but it doesn't give you mulberry. I actually had to look it up like a few years ago. I looked up the recipe, and a lot of the recipe is whatever weight the mulberries are, you match the weight with sugar. And that didn't sound good. As in, I don't like a lot of sugar in my jam. I prefer to actually taste the fruit, not just sugar. So my recipe involves just whatever the weight, I'll still do the weight, whatever the weight the mulberry is, half that, and that will be the weight of the sugar. So if you have 400 grams of mulberries, then your sugar will be 200 grams. You don't have to use a lemon specifically. You can use like those little squeeze containers of lemon juice, but it specifically wants lemon juice, and I like to get a fresh lemon. You need about, I know it differs. You need at least an acid for when you're making jam. And I think I use about 1 tablespoon. It depends on how many cups. The last time I did a mulberry batch, it was 8 cups of mulberries. This is a much smaller batch. So I think with 8 cups, I used 2 tablespoons. So I think I only use 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then, of course, the sugar. I want to get the stems off these first before I weigh it. Because if it ends up being like 5 grams of stems, I'm going to be picky and I want it to be exactly whatever the mulberry is without the stems. This is my pot to boil the mulberries in, to mix all in. It should be enough, like a big enough pot. I got a little pot over here. It's already filled with some water. That is for the seals on for the jars, because you gotta boil the seals before you put them in the jars after you fill it up. And this one is filled with water. This is where I'm gonna boil the jars and once the jams in them to basically can them, seal them, preserve them. So mulberries. So I got the pot ready for boiling. I don't have it turned on yet, but I will soon let it heat up as I'm taking the stems off these. I got the pot for boiling in, and I got the pot for the seals. Got my pectin, sugar, and lemon. And there's all the seals and rings just there. Everything's set. It's good to have everything prepped and ready. Water in the pots. I got my food scale. Don't need that yet. Right here. But now I just gotta do this. All mulberries. It'll take a while. It's 9:30. Let's see how long this will take. I wish there was an easier way to do this. I got them done. All the stems cut off. Yeah, nice and stem free. There's a few that still have stems on them, but they're small. I might have got rid of all the big ones. I just got to wash those now. Alright, so I'm going to get these mulberries washed. And then I'm going to weigh them so I can figure out how much sugar I'm going to have to use. And also while I was doing that, this is already boiling, sort of. I have it down low, but it's already hot. So I wanted to get started because I knew it was going to take a while. So it's good to go. So it should take, so it'll be fine. So once I'm ready to fill the jars up, I can just crank that up. And when it gets close, by the time I'm ready to fill the jars, that should be ready to go so I can get the cans in. So, wash time. Let me do one more for good measure. Got this bowl and the food scale. So, bowl, set it. Let's see. Yeah, it's set to grams. We go by grams in this household. Alright, so 667. I'm missing. There we go. 668. There we go. So 334 grams of sugar is what I need. So I could put that to this side. So yeah, 668. So 338. Remember that. Now I need my sugar. I got my sugar behind the camera. I just need a bowl. There. So it was 668. Need 334 grams of sugar. No, we're going too far. No, above the camera. Alright, so we need 334. I'm using a spoon. Oh, there we go. 334. Let's go. Alright. The sugar for our mulberries. So this is going to go into a pot to start boiling. So this is heating up. So we got our sugar, mulberries, sugar, lemon juice. So while this is heating up, actually what we're going to do is actually put it in. And there's a little bit of water in here, which is good. So from when they were being washed, which is good because it's good to have a little bit of water in here so it doesn't burn too much. So this is heating up. I have it at medium, so that should be good. This spoon was my parents' spoon that I've used it multiple times for my mulberry jam, my strawberry, and the raspberry jam I've done. And it was white underneath. So my mom told me I'm keeping it, and it's my berry scoop, because once the jam is done, I scoop it and I put it into the jars. So this is my jam scooping spoon. So have that out, and then this one's just to stir it. I actually have an emulsion blender that will come in handy. Just gonna add a little bit of water. Not very much, maybe like a tablespoon. Can't forget the lemon juice. Lemon. Make sure I'm stirring it once in a while. Just a little bit more water. It will boil off. I have to be careful because the cord is kind of coming around this pot. Maybe I should have had this one here and then this one here, but yeah. So now, emulsion blender time. It's a bubbling. Yeah, it's good. So now add the sugar. It seems like a lot of sugar. Yeah, it seems like a lot of sugar, but no, it's by the weight. So whatever the berry's weight is, which was 668, then the sugar is half that amount, so 334. Yeah, this is just gonna be a small batch. Like, I've got 6 jars here. It might only do 4. But it's good to have the extra just in case. I gotta get the lemon juice. The lemon. I'm gonna turn this up because this won't take long. And I gotta turn this one on. The recipe I got this from, it said just to squeeze a whole half lemon in and ignore the seeds, because you would strain this, the jam. And that was more like it's like straining out, because it wanted you to get rid of a lot of the seeds. I actually like having the seeds in my jam. I actually found that it didn't change anything about it. I I liked it the way it is. So I make sure I squeeze my lemon into a little container, so if any seeds come out, I can take the seeds out and then put it in. That much lemon juice. Not a whole lot. Again, sugar, lemon juice, and the stir tool has to go in. So before I skim it, listen, I haven't been making... This is really only the 3rd year I've been making homemade jam. The first year, success. 2nd year, I had some frozen raspberries. Something went wrong, and I think I used liquid pectin, and it's very runny jam. I don't like it. Wasn't the greatest. Let's let that boil. But yeah, so something happened with last year's jam. I still made my mulberry jam. A small batch of mulberries. And I made strawberry jam, which turned out really good. And then I made raspberry jam with the frozen, but I used liquid pectin in, because that's what I had at the time. And I'm not a fan of liquid pectin. I prefer the powder stuff. But this is looking really good. I was a little skeptical there for a short bit, because it was just the mulberries. I was like, didn't look right. But once you get the sugar in, once you get the little bit of the lemon juice, get the pectin in, it actually looks really good. Oh, it smells good. Let that stir for a bit. Oh, and I have actually mulberry jam left over from last year, and it's still good. I'm still eating it. Well, there was a period of time I didn't eat any of the jam because I wasn't in the jam mood. But now, because it's mulberry season, it's jam making season, I'm getting in the mood of having some jam again. So I still got I'm gonna count how many jars. I got 6 jars. Look at this. This is what it'll look like, and look how thick that is. It's still, it's a little runny, but because of all the seeds in it, it actually holds pretty good, and I don't mind the seeds. Some people don't like the seeds. I like the seeds. I actually don't even notice the seeds when I'm actually having it. I need a skimmer tool. That's what I need. That's the only thing I have, I don't have for jam making. So I need to let this sit for a moment, because there's a little bit of the... Ooh, it looks... Let's see if we can... Look at that. Look at it. It's so... This is the reason I'm only doing a small batch of fresh mulberry jam. It's because I still have 6 jars from last year that I just did not eat. I think all together I made 12 jars. So I managed to get through half of it last year, and I still have another half. And I had 7 jars left over. I'm actually working on one right now, and I still have 6 full ones left. I use the spoon I used for the skimming. See if I... what I used last year to do this, because I have a raspberry bush at my parents'. It's my pride and joy, which I've been slightly neglecting this year because I moved, because I babied that thing for the past few years. But I'm hoping I can move it over to here. I have a big enough yard for next year. I'm going to move it. And then that way I can look after it better. But not the whole thing at once. I'm just going to do a few canes at a time, a good batch of it, and keep the mother plant there. And then once the babies have established and it's going, then I'll try and move the mother. That way I don't lose it, because I love those raspberries. I don't even know what variety of raspberry bush. My neighbor gave me a single cane, and I've had it for pretty much the amount of time I've been gardening. It was the first plant that got me going. So probably about 10 years. That whole raspberry bush is 10 years. And I look after it. So I'm excited for it to eventually come here. So this should be... Yeah, this should be good. I don't want it... Okay, still smells good because I don't want to boil it too much that I burn it. Okay, now I got all the foam off, so that's good. So now it's scoop time into jars. And off camera, I did get the jars washed, so they're good to go. So this works. So that the pot is closer. Oh wait, you're on this one off. There we go. I had the wrong one. I'm still trying to figure out this stove. Okay, so here we go. Ooh. Now, I grab this, my magnet, so I can get the seals out. And the rings. Make sure it's on tight, and be careful because it will be hot. There. So now I can put these guys in. Turn the heat up a bit. I've never used this pot before. I don't like how it's rattling. I hope it's fine. Well, I gotta set the timer to about 15 minutes with which my boyfriend noticed. It looks like the Duolingo owl. I didn't notice. I've had this thing for over 10 years, at least. And I didn't realize it looks like the Duolingo owl. So there's my timer. I'm turning this down a bit. I've never... This is probably why there's a specialty canning pot. Because I've done it in a different pot before with big jars for my pickles. I've never used this pot before. I don't like how it rattles. It should be fine. I hope it is. It smells like popcorn, sort of. So while that's going, I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup. And we'll come back here when that turns on. Or when the timer goes off. Yeah, it sits in there for 15 minutes. I hope it doesn't explode. That'll be a first if I have a jam jar crack into canning. We'll see. Bye. We'll see you in a bit. Bye. That scared me a bit. Got all the dishes cleaned quickly in that 15 minutes, and I got the pot that had the mulberries soaking, and that's just dishes from the past few days, so that's fine. Oh, my water. Like that. Stay hydrated. Oh, I'm surprised I haven't had water in a while. It's okay if it sits a little bit longer, but I'm gonna put a dish towel down because when you get the jars out, you want to have them sit on a towel as they cool down. Where's my claw? My claw. Okay, so it's still rattling. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that off. This pot. So now we're just gonna claw it out, and then we just put them right there. Got it? And we'll just put it over here. Just bring this one over. Had a bit of water still on it. There. And last one. Yeah, it might seem runny still inside, but it will thicken up as it cools down. That isn't much. That won't be a concern. So that pot's going to cool down. Probably dump it tomorrow. Extra seals. So I'll put them away. Actually, I'll just set them on the toaster oven. It's best to wait overnight. So in the morning, they should be good and sealed. And then you'll do the seal test where you actually lift it up. You'll hold it by the actual seal, lift it. If it comes out, then the seal wasn't perfect. If it holds, you're good. You're good. You're golden. So right now I'm just going to let it sit. But there you go. So 4 jars is pretty good for just a small batch for this year. To have some fresh jams. Because I still have 6 other jars. Lots of jam. And lots of toast. I'm tired, but I got to wait a little bit. Wait for this to cool down. Take the rings off. Let it sit overnight. I know, I'm tired. It's been a year since I last did jam. And I'm tired. It's 11:15. In like half hour, I'll be pretty much ready for bed. But I'm going to wait for this to be done. So anyway, that's it. Mulberries. I love my mulberry jam. I probably won't be doing any more mulberry jam till next year. Because I have enough to last me probably for another 2 years. Okay, bye. Morning. I pretty much just woke up. Got dressed before I came down here. So it's time to test the jam jars because it's been 8 hours. They've been cooling here. So these, they're cooled down enough. I can just take them off the towel. Test your jam jars. So unscrew them. Now, all you gotta do is lift them from here where the seal is. Okay, that one's good. If it can basically hold up its own weight, if you move it around a bit and it doesn't pop and like go down, then you're good. And then what I would like to do is I put the ring back on, but I keep it loose. So it's on there loose. It's just sitting there, it's on there loose. So that if it does pop when it's in storage, there is space for it to pop. Like I could take the rings off, but just keep a ring with it so a jar actually has a ring. Because sometimes I have jars that don't have rings, and I have to get more rings. So let's try this one. They all did it. I have yet to have, well, I've been doing pickles for about 5 years, and I never had them have a broken seal. And this is the 3rd year with jam, and I have yet to come across, well, I got lots of jam. I've yet to come across one that the seal's broken. And I probably will know if there's mold growing in it. Maybe. I've heard them pop. That's usually temperature change. But that could be just the empty jars. Yeah, it's probably just the empty jars. make sure it's on loose so there's space for it to pop. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. So it's still on liquid, so not liquid, but it is thick and it moves. But it still take time to thicken up, or it's once it's in the fridge, after I've opened it and get the first out of it, once it sits in the fridge, then it'll thicken up. But either way, I've had like the thickness of the jam, like every time I make it, has been good. But I think it's mainly when you do, because it's a very seedy jam. So I think it's when all the seeds is kind of holding it together. It's not making it runny. But also all it is just very little water that's already burned off. And it's just whatever juice and pulp is in there. And you could say it's like the pulp itself is what's keeping it thick. So I would say a success. And they're probably going to sit on my shelf for like a whole year by the time I eat them, because I have 6 other jars I gotta eat. So anyway,